Hey guys, this is Cam15. I am back at it with another video for you guys, and this is another Dragon Ball Super manga chapter review. Now, sorry, I'm getting this video out so late. One, I had to do my My Hero Academia manga chapter review today. I had to do my Bears recap today because I had to watch my Chicago Bears, and then I'm finally getting to this now. But this will definitely be uploaded, you know, when obviously you're watching it. But we're here to talk about Dragon Ball Super, and essentially the start to, I'm guessing, the new arc. And we wrap things up completely with the Moro Arc, as well as we start by the climax of this chapter, the new arc. So anyways, this is Dragon Ball Super manga chapter 67, titled Happy Endings and Then. Now, obviously, after the Battle of Moro, all of Goku's friends and the other Z fighters commend Goku for saving the day, like he always does again, and stuff like that. People around, like the Yardratians, they know that they won, and stuff like that. Then the others in the Lookout Tower know they won, and stuff like that. Now, Vegeta, he actually brings the fact, like, Kakarot, do you know about how that massive burst of energy came out of nowhere and stuff like that? And essentially Goku's like, I don't know really, but it seems like there's someone amazing on this planet and stuff like that. And Vegeta's like, come on, you have to know where they are. And Goku's like, no, unless I look into it, then no. So it's furthering, tying up this kind of side plot of the fact that, Oob's here and he's got a lot of power and stuff like that, which will only intrigue Goku much more, and also makes more sense by the time you get to the end of Z of why he's also so intrigued with Oob and stuff like that. So yeah, and even Goku does say in this chapter, like, we'll probably find out in due time. So yeah, it actually does cut back to the Grand Kaioshin and Oob, and essentially Oob is like, whoa, was this like a dream or something? Because the Grand Kaioshin essentially says like, yeah, thank you for helping out and thank you for being a hero and stuff like that. And like I said, Oob thinks this was a dream. He does go back to the Lookout Tower, and then he just magically goes back to Boo, and Boo has no memory of what he did as the Grand Kaioshin. So yeah, then Hercule does the same thing like we see every Dragon Ball arc that ends off in victory. They have a party to celebrate the victory and stuff like that, and you just see them eating. Goku eventually takes Eska back to Planet Namek. Planet Namek uses the Dragon Balls, or uses the Namekian Dragon Balls to essentially refix everything back to what it was after Moro, Moro was stopped. So obviously your typical Dragon Ball thing and stuff like that. Another thing we do see is that Moro did attack that one planet that Fleet was on, or Planet Zoom, which is called, but yeah. So then, a few things, happen, and then a few days later, Goku, Vegeta, and Boo go with Jaco to be honored for their heroic efforts, for obviously saving the universe against Moro, and they're getting these medals, which funny enough, Jaco's like, oh, this is my first time getting one of these medals, so okay, that's another thing. And obviously we see the Grand Galactic Troll King again. Goku again grabs his dick, which I think every time Goku comes across him, I think it's just going to be an ongoing gag, because in the anime he did the same exact thing, and here he's doing it again and stuff like that. He does mention all of them. He says, like, thank you Son Goku, Majin Buu. He even identifies Vegeta as Vegeta the Fourth, which is from Dragon Ball Super, Broly, the movie we made, said essentially his full name. And then Jaco's full name is Jaco Teraminten Pisobishi, which was freaking a long ass name. And even Goku's like, bro, why is your name so long? And Jaco's like, don't worry about it and stuff like that. And then that's when the last person to be honored here is Merus. And that's when, yes, Merus is back in the flesh. He is not, well, I guess dead, but he is alive, and we actually get an explanation to why he's alive. So a few days later, or no, a few days earlier, when Beerus and Whis went to see, essentially, Whis' dad, the Grand Priest, essentially, what happens is that, essentially, he goes on to say, like, yeah, he broke the law and he ceased to exist and stuff like that. Now, he goes on saying that, that said, I personally eradicated Merus temporarily before resurrecting him as a mortal. So essentially, the thing is with Merus is, he's not an angel no more. He is a mortal. Regular human life, but regular, mortal lifespan. So he is brought back as a mortal, which I guess you can make it as a consequence for him considering the fact that he lost his angel powers. Even though I'll talk about it in a few minutes, and stuff like that. So yeah, now Whis actually asked, the Grand Priest, like, what moved you to do like this mercy thing? And he said, actually, it was this one who came to me who was willing to sacrifice his own life to save Merus. And we find out it was Shin, or the Supreme Kai of Universe 7, and he was willing to give his life to have Merus come back. And Beerus obviously got pissed off because, Beerus is like, are you trying to kill me too? Because our lives are connected and stuff like that. So he kind of gets on him for that. And essentially the Grand Priest is like, well, you still gotta serve your penalty. And the penalty we find later, which is funny, more human or humor. Now some Dragon Ball fans might hate this. They're like, come on, guys. This is too, like, really? This is what you're gonna put in the manga chapter? No, listen, this is Dragon Ball. If you guys have watched Dragon Ball or read the manga for years, this is classic Dragon Ball humor. You have Zeno's attendants like taking vacation off in a hot springs. You have Zeno playing essentially with the Supreme Kai, and Beerus playing horsey, and it's just regular Dragon Ball humor. If you've been watching Dragon Ball from the start like Dragon Ball, this Toriyama likes to do this type of humor and stuff like that. So yeah, now that kind of is it. Beerus is definitely blaming Goku for everything that's happened. Even he asks Whis, like, what is Goku doing right now? And Whis is like, oh yeah, he's celebrating the party with the Galactic Patrol, with Merus and stuff like that. Now, okay, speaking about Merus, obviously probably one of the biggest debates next to obviously the Granolah stuff here is, what are people's thoughts on the fact that Merus is now alive again? I'm not gonna lie, I actually do not like this decision. Like, listen, again, I understand, it's classic Dragon Ball. Of course, you're gonna have an arc where somebody ends up dying, only to probably more than likely be brought back. Now, although this was through the powers of the Grand Priest, which essentially means it's much better than using the Dragon Balls, still, you brought Merus back when, one, it was kind of too soon. Like, he only died like 3 or 4 chapters ago, and then now you're bringing him back, which makes, one, no sense, because it's like, well then shit, what is the stakes in terms of angel-like characters, or really the angels, if they do something like that and they end up dying? What, their father is just gonna spare their life and just turn them into immortal? I don't like, personally, if you ask me, I don't like the decision. I personally think they should have just kept him dead, just for Goku's development and his character development, mostly to realize, like, I can't take things for granted. I need to finish my opponents off, otherwise people I like, people I care about, people who I consider my friends are going to die, and it's going to be my fault. I don't like the fact that Merus is alive. I think personally it'd have been much better if he just stayed dead and been like honorary members who's getting honored for this thing. And then the same way that, they could have did the same thing, honor Goku and Vegeta and the others for this, but they could have like an honorary, funeral for Merus and what he gave because of the Galactic Patrol. But he's back as immortal. I don't know if he's going to be involved in any future stories down the pipeline, but my take is, I personally am not a fan of the fact that they brought him back. I think after his sacrifice, which was pretty justified enough to making Goku wake up and snap out of his stupidity to an extent, I thought the sacrifice was gonna be worth it. And like I said, I watch Fairy Tail. I watch Fairy Tail. In the final arc, spoilers if you don't watch Fairy Tail. Actually, I won't say spoilers, but there are a few characters that die in the final arc of the main storyline, which, they end up by the end of the arc, they eventually are not dead, and they were like on the brink of death, where they come back to life essentially, and they don't end up dying. And I personally did not like that in that case. The same thing here, because it's like, well then dang, if we're just gonna bring back anybody we want to, from even the most littlest, tiniest means, that means what's the point of the stakes in this show if you're just gonna bring him back? Listen, if it was me, I personally would not have the Dragon Balls be a thing. The show would probably still be called Dragon Ball, but I make it to where the Dragon Balls are not a thing, which would make more tension, more stake, because you can't wish people back using the Dragon Balls. But that's just my own personal story I would like to tell, but that's just me. But I don't like the fact that Merus is brought back. I think it really does hinder his sacrifice. If they were to bring him back, they should have did it maybe later going into this Granolah arc, and kept it maybe hidden as a thing. They could have did that route, like, when Goku and Vegeta are back against the wall against I guess in the middle of the Granolah arc, they could have reintroduced Merus, and would have been a nice freaking, surprise, even though people leak out so many informations. Trust me, I do my hardest to stay away from the leaks and what everybody posts about. Look, I know people like, and especially these other Dragon Ball YouTubers who do like to post these leaks out and stuff like that. I'm not hating them, but it's like, I wish they didn't post leaks out at all. I wish they just kind of kept it to themselves, and then we were just like going to this chapter, reading this like completely like blind or shocked. Like, that's the only thing I hate about reading these chapters, or reading the days leading up to the new chapters, whether it's any manga, because you have people leaking out these informations and putting it all over their social media, putting in the reviews talking about the leaks, and I'm like, I don't want to see that. Could you guys just wait till the manga chapter comes out and then talk about all the spoilers and stuff like that? But like I said, it's everybody's own thing. They need content to talk about, and I can't blame them for that. I don't do leak videos. I just hate the fact that people post the leaks, and when I do come across and see them, I end up getting freaking pissed off, because I'm like, well, great. Something that would have probably shocked me, now I'm not going to get surprised. I'm like, oh shit. And it's not going to be big because people are leaking it out all over social media and all over YouTube. So, yeah. So, anyways, that's kind of it for Goku and Vegeta this chapter, and that's really it. After, after some time has passed, which honestly is, Jocko, after slacking off, goes with one of his co-workers to go to the Galactic Prison and stuff like that to do some more interrogation. And essentially, they interrogate some of Moro's henchmen who are working in the Moro plotline and stuff like that. And what essentially they're asking for is like what happened to 7-3 and stuff like that. And essentially, you have the big panda guy saying, I don't even know, but if you let me out, maybe I'll tell you some more and stuff like that. And even you have this one guy who said, well, you killed our pals, even though, the Galactic Patrolmen say like, oh no, Moro's the one that killed your friends, but regardless, it is what it is. So anyways, that's when he eventually asked Jocko, like, yo, did you look over the crater or the aftermath of the battle to where 7-3 could be? And Jocko, he says, yeah, I hovered over it and I saw nothing. We later find out that, we see that 7-3 is actually coming back and he's reforming, regenerating, and we saw that Jocko didn't do a job like a regular patrol person should do in a scene of a crime. Is by looking at everything, it seemed like he must have just got in the ship, flew by Earth, just looked down, didn't see anything, and just flew off. Because it's Jocko, he's being lazy. Instead of going down, analyzing everywhere to see if there was anything left. But, as, they're talking to some of the prisoners, you see 7-3 is reforming and stuff like that. So 7-3 reforms. Eventually, those two, Jocko and his co-worker, go back to Earth, and essentially they ask Jocko, like, do you see anything in the crater? And Jocko's like, no, I told you there was nothing here. Only to find out, behind these rocks, you see these two alien dudes with these weird-looking hats holding 7-3's head in a canister. They eventually fly off and stuff like that. So after a few months have passed, we don't know specified how many months have passed, and we don't know a few months have passed into a new year. It just says a few months have passed. Anyways, we see this, I guess, alien group of race called this dude named Master Gochi essentially say that all the data from 7.3 has been copied into the other units and stuff like that. And we find out these guys were the original makers of 7.3, and that 7.3 wasn't actually, made from the Galactic Prisoners. He was actually stolen from Sangha Bro, and they eventually stole him. And they're finally uploading all the data up into these other 7.3 like units, which they're going to try to plan to take over the universe, and what they said. And then that's when that's when I can say enter Granolah, who apparently might be the new antagonist. We don't know yet, but he enters in, he raids the ship. Essentially, those Master Gochi and his forces essentially see this, or they hear off the PA system because their alarm goes off, and they try to stop him, but Granolah's kind of going up in there, beating them with like his ray gun or whatever, knocking them one by one. And then when some of the 7.3 units show up, because here's the reason why Granolah is there, he's looking for the original, or what they call OG 7.3, which is probably shortened for original 7.3. And you see like there's these other different units that look like 7.3, like you have one like, 72, OG 72 or something like that. And eventually you see that Granolah, he knows their weakness is obviously the crystal on her head, so when he takes them out, they're essentially are done in and stuff like that. And by the time you get to the end of the chapter, you see 7.3 who's still regenerating his body, whose body's still regenerating after all these months have passed, I'm guessing, is there at the end of the chapter, and Granolah finds him and stuff like that. Now Granolah, I like his design. He looks like a pretty interesting character. Again, we don't know if he's friend or foe. We don't know what he's going to be using for. The only other person in his forces we know is literally a guy named Oatmeal, which Granolah, Oatmeal, they're like essentially like food puns and stuff like that. But again, he looks cool. I did see his colorized design. His colorized design essentially is he has like light greenish hair. And essentially he has tan skin like a human. Now, we don't know what this guy's race. We don't know if he's like an alien race that looks similar to a human, or if he's like a human that went into outer space and did intergalactic stuff. We'll just have to find out. But like I said, I like his design. I like his little eye thing. It is interesting. A lot of people speculate, what if he could be a scientist? We're just gonna have to see. Again, we don't know if he's gonna be the big bad, but maybe he might turn, if he gets his whole hand of 7.3, he might eventually turn 7.3 into maybe potentially the big bad of this series, and we'll just have to see what goes on. But I thought this chapter was a nice way to close up the Moro Arc, as well as start a new arc that has still a lot of intrigue going in, and we don't know. We're gonna have to wait till next year, which is January 20th, to see what is going to happen next. But I thought this chapter was pretty solid. And yeah, Moro Arc is finally closed, and I guess we can all say, well, here we go with the Granolah arc. So anyways, guys, this has been Camper 15. I'm gonna get out of here. So if you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this manga chapter, your thoughts on why Granolah is looking for 7.3 or needs 7.3, and anything else about this chapter you want to talk about, bring it up. Hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Dragon Ball content, or Dragon Ball Super Manga content. I know I am also going to be doing Dragon Ball movie reviews from movies 1 of Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Super Broly. So look forward to that. I don't know when I'm going to start that, but that is on the way, coming next year. But yeah, but other than that, yeah, and if you are subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell icon to make sure you don't miss any upload or any update I upload to the channel. So till then, I'll see you guys on the next video. Till then, guys, hopefully you guys have a great day and stay safe out there. Peace.